cold front to impact southeastern Australia tomorrow, bringing hot, dry and windy conditions ahead of it, showers, thunderstorms and a cool change. But it's those hot winds that are going to drive extreme fire dangers for much of Victoria tomorrow. And that's a concern as things are very dry through the state of Victoria. So let's look at all of that in more detail. Firstly, in terms of fire dangers, today we're seeing high fire dangers through much of South Australia, Victoria, even into southeastern and eastern Tasmania and through parts of inland New South Wales. But as that front approaches tonight and tomorrow, we're going to see those winds really increase across southeastern Australia. And that's why tomorrow we're seeing extreme fire dangers for much of western, central and into northeastern parts of Victoria on Tuesday, with high fire dangers likely through much of eastern South Australia and also central and eastern parts of Tasmania as well. And that's all thanks to those hot, dry and windy conditions combining with the extremely dry fuel loads, especially through parts of Victoria where in some areas we haven't seen rain for weeks and if not months. So let's look at all of that in more detail. Firstly, in terms of temperatures, today we're going to see the heat peak through South Australia with temperatures into the mid to high 30s and even approaching the 40-degree mark out in western South Australia. That's typical for summer, not the extreme heat that we have been seen in previous weeks, but still that is a hot day and that's driving those elevated fire dangers, and that heat is also moving into parts of Victoria and New South Wales. Then as we move into Tuesday, you'll see that higher heat now moving down into parts of central and northern Victoria, with temperatures generally in the mid to high 30s, where much cooler conditions developing through southern parts of South Australia, thanks to those cooler winds. But it is those northerly winds that is driving that heat and those fire dangers into Victoria, but also note into Tasmania as well, getting up to 31 degrees in Hobart ahead of that cold front. So let's look at that cold front in more detail. So today it's out over the Great Australian Bight. Pretty mild day, warm, hot day I should say. In the southeast, really warm in South Australia as those northerly winds pick up ahead of that trough and front system. Then as we move into tomorrow morning, looking like the cool change get into the Adelaide area around that mid-morning time frame tomorrow, with some cooler gusty winds but a warm night ahead of it. And then we'll see some showers and possible storms with that. Then as that front and trough move into eastern parts of South Australia, we're going to see showers and thunderstorms really develop during the early afternoon hours, and they can become quite widespread, I should say, as they spread further eastwards into western and southwestern Victoria. Then we're going to see a bit of that wind shift moving into the Melbourne area around that 5 or 6 p.m. time frame with some showers and thunderstorms. And that's going to be followed by colder conditions and a band of rain behind that cold change as well. Unfortunately, showers and storms will become isolated and weaken out through inland areas, particularly northern Victoria and southwestern New South Wales. But we should see a band of rain through southern parts of Victoria with and behind that front. That is going to lead to maybe 5 to 10 millimetres in some areas. But by the time we wake up on Wednesday morning, this whole weather system will be cleared and many areas will be about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than what we saw on Tuesday. So on top of all of that, we've also got those showers and thunderstorms, and they could be severe through parts of eastern South Australia and western Victoria, highlighted in this yellow region here. So those storms will develop near and east of Adelaide late Tuesday morning into Tuesday afternoon, and then spread into western and southwestern parts of Victoria as we move into the afternoon hours. Now, if we do live in this yellow highlighted area, thunderstorms could be severe in these locations tomorrow, bringing damaging winds and heavy rainfall. But those storms will weaken pretty quickly as we move into the evening and overnight hours. Storms may approach the Mildura through Melbourne area, but at this stage, unlikely to be severe, but definitely need to be watching if you're out and about tomorrow afternoon and evening. We're also seeing that storm risk spreading down into much of Tasmania as well, with severe thunderstorms possible in northwestern parts of Tasmania. Now, of course, with these thunderstorms, they also bring lightning, so there is a risk that these storms could start new fires as well. So with hot, dry, windy conditions, showers, thunderstorms, rain, and then a cooler change, make sure you're weather aware across parts of Victoria and southeastern Australia over the next 36 hours. You can get the latest forecast and warnings via our website and app, and we'll continue to keep you updated here at the Bureau.